Ladies and gentlemen, today we're about to dive into the geological soap opera that's been unfolding beneath our feet for millions of years. Picture this: two massive tectonic plates, the Juan de Fuca and the North American, locked in an eternal tango along the Pacific Northwest coast. It's like a slow-motion sumo wrestling match, but instead of sweaty guys in loincloths, we've got continent-sized slabs of rock pushing against each other. Now you might be thinking, why should I care about some underground rock dance-off? Well, this subterranean struggle has some pretty significant implications for those of us living topside. We're talking earthquakes that could rearrange your living room furniture without your permission, and volcanoes that might decide to redecorate your backyard with a fresh coat of lava. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey into the heart of the Cascadia subduction zone. Let's dive in. Now let's talk about what's happening right now. It's a world of constant motion and incredible forces. The Juan de Fuca and North American plates aren't just sitting around playing tectonic tiddlywinks. These plates are engaged in a slow yet relentless geological dance. These massive slabs of Earth's crust are constantly on the move, but imagine the slowest race you've ever seen, and then slow it down even more. The Juan de Fuca plate, being the overachiever it is trying to dive under the North American plate in a process we call subduction. This isn't just a simple slide, it's a complex and powerful interaction. This subduction zone stretches for about 1,000 kilometers along the Pacific Northwest coast, from Northern California to Vancouver Island. It's a vast and dynamic region. As the Juan de Fuca plate slides under its continental cousin, it doesn't go quietly. The interaction is filled with tension and energy. It causes all sorts of geological mischief, from creating deep ocean trenches to pushing up mountain ranges. These are the visible signs of the immense forces at play. But here's the kicker: this subduction process isn't smooth sailing. It's fraught with complications and challenges. The plates don't just glide past each other like well-oiled machines. They grind and catch, creating friction and resistance. They stick together in places, building up enormous amounts of pressure over time. This pressure is like a ticking time bomb waiting to be released. And when one finally does, the release of this built-up pressure can have dramatic consequences. Well, that's when things get really interesting. And by interesting, I mean potentially catastrophic for those of us living on the surface. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions are just some of the dramatic events that can occur. Now let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the pressure in the plates. Is the activity between our geological dance partners increasing? Well, in a word, yes. Think of the Cascadia subduction zone as Earth's largest pressure cooker. For the past 300 years or so, it's been slowly but surely building up steam. The last time it blew its top was back in 1700, and boy was that a doozy. We're talking about a magnitude 9.0 earthquake that sent tsunamis all the way to Japan. Recent studies have shown that the rate of deformation along the subduction zone is increasing. It's like watching a rubber band being stretched. It might seem fine for a while, but eventually something's got to give. The longer the zone stays quiet, the more energy it's storing up for its next big performance. And when it does pop, well, let's just say it'll be a geological event that'll have people talking for centuries to come. Now let's turn our attention to the fiery divas of the geological world, volcanoes. These natural wonders are not just mountains, they are dynamic, powerful, and sometimes unpredictable forces of nature. The Cascadia subduction zone isn't just about earthquakes, it's also responsible for a string of volcanoes that make up part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. This ring is a horseshoe-shaped zone of high volcanic and seismic activity that encircles the Pacific Ocean. In the Cascadia region, we've got a whole lineup of potentially active volcanoes, each with its own personality and quirks. These volcanoes are like a family, each member unique and with its own story to tell. There's Mount Baker in Washington, looking all innocent with its snow-capped peak, but don't be fooled, it's got a hot temper brewing beneath. This volcano has the potential to erupt with little warning, reminding us of the power hidden beneath its serene exterior. Then we've got Mount Rainier, the tall, dark, and handsome type that's been known to cause a bit of trouble. Standing majestically, it poses a significant threat due to its massive ice cap, which could melt rapidly during an eruption, leading to devastating lahars. Moving south, we encounter Mount St. Helens, the rebel of the group that famously blew its top in 1980. This dramatic eruption reshaped the landscape and reminded us of the raw power of volcanic activity. But wait, there's more. We've also got Mount Hood in Oregon, Mount Shasta in California, and a whole host of other volcanic peaks scattered throughout the region. Each of these volcanoes contributes to the rich geological tapestry of the Cascadia region. These volcanoes are directly affected by the subduction process. This process is a key driver of volcanic activity in the region, creating the conditions necessary for eruptions. As the Juan de Fuca plate dives deeper into the Earth, it heats up and releases water, which causes the overlying mantle to melt. This melting generates magma, the molten rock that fuels volcanic eruptions. This molten rock then rises, forming magma chambers beneath the volcanoes. These chambers are like reservoirs of potential energy, waiting for the right conditions to release their power. The activity of these volcanoes is closely tied to the movements and pressures in the subduction zone. Understanding this relationship helps scientists predict future eruptions and mitigate their impacts on human communities. Alright folks, so which areas in the Cascadia region are playing geological Russian roulette? Well, first up we've got the coastal areas. If you're living with an ocean view in places like Seattle, Portland, Vancouver, or anywhere along the Pacific Northwest coast, congratulations, you're in prime tsunami territory. When, not if, the big one hits, these areas could be facing waves taller than a skyscraper. Moving inland, we've got the major urban centers again in Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver. These cities are built on sedimentary basins that can amplify seismic waves. And let's not forget about all those tall buildings and bridges. In a major quake, they might decide to do the cha-cha, and trust me, that's one dance party you don't want to attend. Now, before you start packing your bags for a move to Kansas, remember that preparation is key. Now, let's talk about something that might help you sleep a little better at night: early warning systems. These systems are designed to give us a heads up before natural disasters strike, potentially saving lives and reducing damage. How much advance notice would we get before the Earth decides to do the Macarena beneath our feet or a volcano decides to clear its throat? The answer varies, but the technology behind these warnings is nothing short of fascinating. Well, strap in, because we're about to take a trip to the fascinating world of geological fortune-telling. This isn't about crystal balls or tarot cards. It's about science and technology working together to predict natural events. For earthquakes, the news is mixed. While we can't predict them days in advance, we do have systems that can give us a crucial few seconds to prepare. The good news is that we do have early warning systems in place. These systems are constantly monitoring seismic activity and can provide alerts almost instantaneously. The bad news? Early in this case means seconds to minutes, not days or weeks. It's a race against time, but every second counts. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network uses a system called Shake Alert, which can detect the initial seismic waves of an earthquake and send out warnings before the more damaging waves arrive. This system is a marvel of modern engineering. When an earthquake starts, it sends out P waves, primary waves, that travel faster than the more destructive S waves, secondary waves. Understanding these waves is key to the early warning system. Seismometers detect these P waves and quickly calculate the earthquake's location and magnitude. This rapid calculation is what allows for the early warning. This information is then used to send out alerts. These alerts can be sent to your phone, broadcast on TV, or even trigger automated systems to shut down critical infrastructure. But here's the catch. The amount of warning time depends on your distance from the earthquake's epicenter. The closer you are, the less time you have. If you're right on top of it, you might have no time at all. This is one of the limitations of the current technology. If you're farther away, you could get up to a minute or two. This might not seem like much, but it can be enough time to take cover or stop critical operations. It's not much, but hey, in an earthquake, even a few seconds can make a big difference. Those precious moments can be the difference between life and death, making these early warning systems invaluable. Alright, so how these warnings will reach us mere mortals when the Earth decides to shake, rattle, and roll. First up, we've got the Wireless Emergency Alerts, WEA system. This is the same system that sends out Amber Alerts and severe weather warnings. When Shake Alert detects a significant earthquake, it'll trigger these alerts. Your phone will suddenly come to life with a sound that's guaranteed to make you jump higher than the earthquake itself might. But wait, there's more. The warnings will also be broadcast through radio and TV stations. So if you're in the middle of binge-watching your favorite show, don't be surprised if your program is interrupted by an urgent message. For those of you who prefer more modern methods, there are also smartphone apps available that can receive and display Shake Alert warnings. These apps can give you more detailed information. like the estimated magnitude of the quake and how many seconds you have before the shaking reaches you. Now, for our volcanic friends, the warning methods are similar, but with the United States Geological Survey's volcano alert system giving the warnings. Alright, future survivors, it's time to talk prep, because when the ground starts shaking, you'll want to be ready. First things first, your earthquake kit. Think of it as your I Survived the Big One starter pack. Start with water, 1 gallon per person per day for at least 3 days, and don't forget your pets. Also include water treatment tablets in case you run out of bottled water, and have ample, ready-to-eat food for everyone. Develop a disaster plan that decides how you will communicate during an earthquake, volcano, or any natural disaster. Now that we've covered the basics, let's dive deeper into prepping your earthquake kit and home. Add a fire extinguisher, flashlights with batteries, a battery-operated radio, and a first aid kit to your emergency preparedness kit. These essentials will keep you safe and informed when the unexpected happens. Next, it's time to look around your home. Identify hazards and secure movable items like furniture and appliances to prevent them from falling during an earthquake. This simple step can prevent injuries and save lives. Prepare your home further by getting a gas and water shutoff tool. In the event of a major quake, shutting off these utilities can prevent fires and flooding. Strengthen your property where possible to make it more resistant to seismic forces. Small investments now can make a big difference later. Don't forget to sign up for earthquake alerts to stay informed about potential risks. Organize important documents in a safe and easily accessible place. Consider earthquake insurance to protect your home and belongings. Remember, preparation is key. When the ground starts to shake, you'll be ready, set, and prepped to handle whatever comes your way. In the case of a volcano, you should still have an emergency plan and disaster kit, but you should also aim to keep yourself updated by tuning into official sources for the latest information and warnings. Review your city's evacuation routes and follow evacuation orders from local authorities. Fill up your car with gas and charge up your devices, and make sure to avoid areas downwind and river valleys downstream of the volcano. Stay safe, stay informed, and stay prepared. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more survival tips. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to be notified when new videos are released. Your support helps us continue to bring you valuable content to stay prepared and safe. Remember, knowledge is power and preparation is key. Until next time, stay connected, stay informed, and stay safe.